is too much just for pushing a button. I can get you so much exposure. My phone is just as good. That's way too expensive. Yeah, we've all heard it a million times before. People want us to work, but they don't want to pay for us. Why is that? And what can you do about it? I have been a freelance photographer and video creator for the last few years. And I work for big companies to small families, and this is what I have learned. The main reason why people don't want to pay for a professional photographer is simply because they don't understand what it takes to actually be a professional photographer. They don't see all the knowledge that lays behind. They don't see all the time you have spent studying, practicing, the days you have spent creating your own style. But don't worry, I have a solution for you later in this video. 90% of people have never touched a camera, lenses, sat down to edit in a professional program. The only camera most people have used is the camera in their phone, which I think is the biggest reason for the misconceptions about photography and photographers. This is because the photos most people have taken with their phones has become so high quality that most people can't even see the difference in quality. If you could look at the difference between the photos of an average person like 15 to 20 years ago and today, it is insane. My phone's camera has 50 megapixels. My own professional camera only has 33. That's what happens when you have companies like Apple spending $410 million in a single year just on the camera. This is way more than Sony and Canon and any other camera manufacturers could spend combined, which is why we see phone cameras catching up to professional cameras so insanely fast. However, there are still things in professional cameras that phones simply cannot do yet, which is why most of us still use professional cameras instead of phones for our work. This brings me to the second thing most people don't know about photography, which is the price of our gear. Just the houses of our cameras can easily run us between $1,000 and $5,000, and the lenses can easily do the same. We need a computer to edit on, we need software to edit on, we need all the accessories, batteries, SD cards, filters, everything like that. And usually when I go out to shoot, I carry between $15,000 and $20,000 worth of gear with me, just to make sure that I have a backup if anything happens to any of the gear. And all of it needs to be bought, updated and maintained. And then we have the last problem I see. Most people don't even know how long it's gonna take for a great photo to be made, which again is because of all the smartphones. Most people are just used to tapping the phone and then posting the photo to Instagram, Facebook, OnlyFans, and that's what? A minute at most? They don't see the time you spend searching for the right photo, sitting and making sure all the colors are perfect, all the levels are perfect, spending hours just making sure the photo is the best it can be, and again they don't see all the hours we have spent learning and acquiring our skills. But this is just the reasons for the problems. So what is the solution? The first thing I would do is to make sure that my services are not overpriced. So I would research my area and my field of expertise. That means I'm not gonna look for a product photographer's price in New York if I'm doing family photo sessions in Sweden or something. I would take my work and my prices and I would take a look at those and compare them to the prices and the works of everybody around me and see where I compare. Am I too cheap? Am I too expensive? Or am I just in the middle? And if anything doesn't fit, you can start by changing that. I've had great experience myself by raising my prices because for some reason people don't really want to hire me if I have amateur prices. After that, I explain to people why the price is what it is. I tell them how many hours I spent, what type of gear I use, all the time I spend in the photos afterwards in order to make sure that they are the best they can be. I also explain to them that they can easily go out and find a cheaper photographer if they want. But the thing is that I cannot promise that they have the expertise and the same knowledge that I have myself. So if they do that, it is a bit more risky. But of course, it is their own choice. I can't really force a choice onto them. I can only explain what they get from me. They have to decide themselves. A little trick I use when talking to clients about price is to acknowledge that the price might be high, but to avoid using words such as expensive, because that just makes it seem overpriced, even if it's not. And that is never something you want in the mind of your clients. You want them to feel that, yes, it is a lot of money, but they will get their money's worth. Usually what I find is that most people tend to agree and understand the value of my work. However, you still have to be ready to accept that some people might say no thank you, we can get it cheaper somewhere else. But this is just part of the solution. So watch this video to learn to get the work you want and not just the work that you can.